Alright, so it is about 8:45 in the morning. I've just woken up. Yes, it is late. I am on school holidays. I am enjoying some sleep-ins. But I thought I'd take you guys through a full day of eating today. I'm going to try my best to film and not get in people's way because some family is back and obviously there is a bit of family home, so I don't want to get in their way in the kitchen. But what we'll do is we're going to go in, we'll take my weight, see what we're at, and then that will determine sort of what we're going to do today for the calories, whether it's going to be a bit higher or a bit lower. I do have my meal plan all planned out, but I do adjust it sometimes to suit what's happening with my weight because I'm very data focused this time around instead of just consuming 5,000 calories. But yeah, anyway, we'll go inside, we'll take my weight and see how that goes. Okay, so we'll take my weight and see what we need to do for today. Alright, there's the weight. So we are in a good spot for today. I would say 105.3 isn't too bad. So what we'll do is we'll stay to our normal game plan with our calories, and then we'll go from there. But as I say, we are doing a data approach in terms of calories, so I need to adjust on a week-to-week basis depending on how my weight is and how my body fat is looking, because we don't want to push too much food and get too fat. Likewise, we don't want to be pushing enough and not putting on any tissue, because we are somewhat of a hard gainer and I don't want to be behind schedule. So we'll go to my first meal. I'll try to show some clips of me cooking it. It's not too out the gate, but we'll go from there. Okay, so meal one, we have our 200 grams of egg whites and one whole egg. We got 2 bagels over here with around, I say around because I did measure it and it went a little bit over, just a small bit, around 15 grams of peanut butter, and then 20 grams of boysenberry jam. So at the moment you'll see, oh, that's probably not an ideal bulky meal, that doesn't look like enough food. Well, as I say, I'm going to start off slow, I'm going to build up, and we'll end up, you know, high calories when our body starts becoming less reactive to food, which will happen, but at the moment we are pretty reactive, so there's no point in pushing thousands and thousands of calories and go from there, because I feel like when people get on their bulk and they go, they don't actually count macros. Instead, they're counting calories instead of counting macros. It's really important to count your macros and go off macros and not actually just calories, because calories, you can have 1,000 calories of carbs, for example. Oh no, sorry. You could have 5,000 calories in just carbs. So where's the other macronutrients that you need for recovery? Not there. So we'll have this. And then I'll give you the count of what it was after, so we'll get into it anyway. Actually, before I start, so we've got this is my main source of choice. So this is sweet chili jam. It's actually not too bad on the macro, so per serving, so it's 15 grams per serving. It's 21 calories. It's got 4.8 grams of carbs, which is okay here because we can allow for that extra 10 grams of a certain macro each day. I'm not tracking condiments at the moment, but I will start to track them as we start getting a little bit deeper in the off season. I don't want to spill too much, so chuck a bit of this on and then we'll rip into it. Looks about 15, maybe a little bit more. So get onto this and then I'll see you after. So this meal with all that we've got comes to a total of 788 kilocalories, 51.5 grams of protein, 102.5 grams of carbs, which is obviously mainly coming from these two things right here, and 18.3 grams of fat. So in between meals, I haven't really nailed the timing of how long I want in between meals, so allowing for that fat to be in there to slow down the digestion of the carbs obviously is ideal for me, because generally in the mornings when I was at work, okay, I'd have to eat at about 7:20 in the morning and my next meal would be around 11 o'clock. So having that food just last a little bit longer, digest a little bit slower is ideal, because obviously I don't want to get to that point and be starving. Obviously when you start pushing food, that's probably not going to be a problem, but pardon me, right now I have the ability to do this. So just a little overview of what the day's going to look like. So we have 6 meals all up, with 2 of those meals obviously being a pre and post workout meal, but it's very basic. I'm not one to have all these fancy recipes and all that for myself, because I'd rather just eat. I'm eating, as Jay Cutler said, for fuel, not necessarily for pleasure, but I do like to enjoy my food. That's why I've got some bagels in here. I love bagels, so we'll try and finish these ones off and go from there. Right, so we now have meal 2, which I've obviously got some of the prized sweet chili jam on there. It's literally just 250 grams of rice, basmati rice that is. So 250 grams of basmati rice and then 200 grams of chicken. So I'll just get out the phone with the calculator and I'll be able to tell you exactly what we got in this meal. So for meal 2, we've got 71 grams of protein, 87 grams of carbs, and 8.3 grams of fats. Obviously the fats mainly coming from the chicken there, and then we'll get onto it. So usually I do, even in the bulking season, I will still continue to use chicken breasts. I know a lot of people do sort of transition and start using chicken thighs. To me, I just like chicken breast too, a bit more, know how to cook it and stuff like that. So I just chuck my chicken in the air fryer, bit of salt, bit of pepper. I did used to use a bunch of stuff, all your seasonings and all that, but I've just found that chicken just goes a lot better with a lot of different things when it's simple. So that's what I've been doing. I won't film the next meal. Reason being is because meal 3 is exactly the same. So you can say that you times those 2 meals, put those 2 meals together, or times this meal by 2, you'll get the same amount of macros. So I'm gonna get into this, and then I'll probably see you at the pre-workout meal, which will be in about another 4 hours, I would say, because we usually gym around 6 o'clock, and I like to give that a little bit of time to digest before I get into it. So very simple. Today I've been a little bit lazy. I've actually just got a packet of rice instead of cooking it in the rice cooker, just because why not, you know, why not. But anyway, I'll get into this and then I'll catch you at the next meal. Right, so we have our pre-workout meal here. So if you can see in there, as you can see, we've got our whey drip on top. So there is a scoop and a half of whey isolate protein. We've got our mixed berries on there. Usually just go for blueberries with some raspberries, but you know, feeling a little bit adventurous today, so I thought I'd dabble in the mixed berries that I found in there. We've got 100 grams of rice flour and 20 grams of peanut butter. So that works out to be 50 grams of protein, 98.3 grams of carbohydrates, and 12.3 grams of fat, with a total of 721 kilocalories. So pretty big meal before the gym. Usually like to stagger it about an hour or have it about an hour before we actually are meant to be at the gym. But I may have had an afternoon nap, so I'm going to be a little bit late. It was less than an hour, but I was still napping nonetheless. So I'll get into this, and then I don't think I'm going to film at the gym today. I'll just get some clips for my reels and whatnot, but I will see you after for the next meal, which will be the post-workout meal, which isn't too interesting, just very simple, very easy. Okay, but if you guys do want to know how to make this, I can make a video on it in the future. It's very simple, very easy, and I watched Wesley Visitors do it. So anyway, I'm gonna eat this and then I'm gonna piss off to the gym. So this is our post-workout meal here. We've got 100 grams of Reese's Puffs. We've got a protein shake here. We've just got whey protein in there, no whey isolate in that, unfortunately. Just wanted to switch flavors up a little bit. So we've got Ghost Cinnabon in there, which is pretty tasty. Actually, I haven't had a taste of it out of this. It usually just has have it as a whey drip, but it's not bad. I mean, I've had better, but it's alright. So gonna get this down. The reason why I've got this is we just want those fast digestion carbs, just a bit of sugar and whatnot. Don't know who was grinding something over there, but obviously not a lot of thinking goes into this meal. It's basically, as I say, just to fuel us, replenish what we've lost in our workout. We did shoulders and arms today, so not a relatively taxing workout, but nevertheless it is still a workout and we still need to replenish those glycogen stores. So we've got this, I'll smash this back and then I'll see you at the next meal. But overall the body was feeling pretty good. My elbow though was pretty sore, especially on the pressing movement. I only did one press today because of that, so we'll go from there and I'll see you at the next meal. Okay, so we got our last meal of the day here. So we've got simple beef mince and rice. So 250 grams of rice, basmati rice that is, and then 200 grams of prime beef, which works out to be about 1387, and then obviously a little bit of light tomato sauce because it is off season. As I said before, we can indulge slightly in some condiments, and not, to be honest, it's a Kiwi thing to have straight tomato sauce instead of ketchup. Tomato sauce here in New Zealand is a banger of a sauce to go on any sort of beef product, any chips, to be honest, any you know, fried chips, they go ideal with that. But it is pretty late. Let me check the time. The time is right now 11:04, so it is pretty late. I've got a bit of work to do for some clients. Okay, so cheeky little plug, if you do want online coaching, it is now available. You can find my Instagram in the description. Click on that, go from there, flick me a DM, and then we can actually start we can start that relationship. We might as well just start coaching client. You know, you be my client, I coach you, bang. Iconic duo without even trying. But this meal, in terms of its macronutrients, is about, meal 6 is 54 grams of carbs, of protein, 79 grams of carbs, and 27.1 grams of fat, which is obviously coming from the mince. And then we've got, obviously, yeah, as I said, the protein is the mince, and then the carbohydrate is the rice. Okay, so that is a wrap for yesterday's video. Obviously it is the future, but I thought I'd film this intro when the lighting was good. Okay, my room's not too much of a mess. You can see we've got some washing here that I'm actually not washing, I'm giving that away because they do not fit it anymore, which is a good thing, mind you, because that means we are slightly growing. This morning I was 105.6. I have to go back and see what I was yesterday, but if we've dropped weight, that means it's not ideal. I'm pretty sure we may have dropped weight, but that's okay. We'll figure out what we need to do. This is a stage where my body is going between weights. It hasn't stuck at one weight and stayed consistent or gotten heavier over time, because the last couple of weeks is the first time that I've actually been in a full caloric surplus, whereas I've been around maintenance and a slight deficit just to keep condition, just to get my body used to food again, because now my brain's at the stage where I am getting full and I can stop eating, whereas before I could just eat and eat and eat and eat. So total for yesterday, our calories were at 4,348, okay, with our protein sitting at 332 grams. Our carbs were 532 grams, and then our fats were 92 grams. So there you go, that's the evaluated calories and macros for the day. I base my diet off macros, not calories, okay? So obviously the macros together combined will add up to that amount of calories, okay? Obviously the calories, when you want to be in a surplus, you know, you can use that as a reference point, but generally you want to use macros, especially in off season, because if you stuff your diet full of fats, okay, which, you know, a lot of people do, and what I've done in the past, okay, you do put on excess body fat, and it is hard to pull that off, especially in prep, okay, unless you want to start a long way out, okay, and then you have the risk of pulling too hard, and then what happens next, you start losing muscle, you look like crap on stage, which I don't want to do, okay. I feel like I did lose a little bit of muscle, but I did look okay. If you have seen any of my stage photos on my Instagram, I was happy with the package that I brought compared to last time. But yeah, that's a wrap for today's video. Obviously, if you haven't already, make sure you drop a sub, because it will help me a lot, help me grow, okay, and push these videos out to more people. Drop a like and a comment of what you want to see next, because again, it's going to help push me into the algorithm, and that would be ideal for me. But it was good talking to you, and I'll see you in the next one.